Welcome to Design+Style, a podcast dedicated to helping you attract new leads, own your influence, and develop your inner visibility warrior through our proven tools, techniques, and mindset strategies. I am Dixie Willard, interior designer and owner of Designing Dixie, a brand journalism media outlet. And with me, as always, is my beautiful, effervescent co-host,
Rachel Moriarty, a leading home style expert, best-selling author, speaker, brand ambassador, and product designer for Elegant Mosaics.
Garrison Hullinger is principal at Garrison Hullinger Interior Design, a full-service residential and commercial interior design firm. GHID's meteoric rise from its start in Garrison's attic in 2010 to a bustling downtown studio is a direct result of the talent and flexibility of the team, shaped by Garrison's commitment to client-centered design.
Garrison, welcome to the podcast. We're so happy to have you.
Morning. Thanks for having me.
Good afternoon on the East Coast. Dixie's on the East Coast.
So. Yes. It's technically afternoon by just a smidge.
Oh, schmitch.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about, Garrison, our group, our community, our podcast, we love to focus on visibility. And we think that in-person visibility is the gold standard. So let's start origin story-wise, how you and I met in the magic that is High Point Market.
Okay, I love it.
I feel like we should interject here. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away.
In the very wee hours of the morning.
Mm-hmm.
At the Grand.
At the Grand.
You shared a coach, am I correct?
A coach.
A coach. It was a livery service.
It's summer, by the way. So you won't know this if you're listening on iTunes, but if you are watching on YouTube, you're going to see a little girl just went behind me. And that's because it's summer and I'm a mompreneur.
Can she do the floss for us real quick?
She can do the floss, actually. Yeah. She's a beast.
I love it, like her mama.
Yeah, exactly. So Garrison and I met in after hours I don't even know. We happened to get in an Uber together. That is so funny. And we were going to Proximity, which is where all the cool people hang out after hours. And it was actually wonderful that we got to do that because I got like 15, 20 minutes of one-on-one with you, which was, I don't think would have happened otherwise. You know, I don't think that connection,
right.
When I think about the whole time and the other times that I saw you, it was like bumping in, like quick, little bits at a time. But that Uber ride was amazing because I got to learn about Garrison and his business and also your backstory, which I think is so important. We think, we love sharing stories because it's a differentiator. We're all designers. You can all look at our portfolios and we put beautiful work out, right? But the story is so different. So share a little bit about that, Garrison. I mean, it's so interesting how you got into design.
Well, I know it's always a great story, right? There's parts of the story that should always be left out. But sometimes in the back of a van and in the East Coast, down in the Southern, you just got to share. And I, thank goodness it went well and my sharing wasn't too much. But that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Well, for quite a few years, I was in headquarters at retail. So I worked for a very large retailer, creating operation systems, tech systems, worked on amazing projects. And then, you want me to tell my whole story? Or?
Well, yeah, I actually do.
Okay. Well, on one of my business trips, we were on a tech trip with my team, rolling out some new systems. And unfortunately, I was in an accident and I suffered a traumatic brain injury, injured my spine, my ankles, like just a mess. That hot mess kind of turned out to be a 5-year recovery, learning to walk, speak. Memory was a mess for quite a long time. And I'm very fortunate, my husband stayed by my side and took care of me and fought for all of those things. And my eyes and my memory were the worst piece. And so one of the occupational therapists, I was getting 22 hours of therapy a week. And one of the big things was the they were finding out that I really couldn't use the computer keyboards. My eyes couldn't focus. And so she's like, what'd you do as a kid? And I'm like, well, my dad was, always seemed like he was always on furlough with Boeing back in Kansas. And my uncle was a custom home builder. And so we would always go, about an hour away and help him. And so, I grew up around construction, remodeling. And she's like, well, let's remodel. Let's, do something in your garage. So we started out, in the garage, hammering a nail into a piece of board. And we do that for about an hour a week. That was as much as I could accomplish. And then eventually it turned into like, hey, let's remodel your bathroom, or let's do this. And so it became a state vocational rehab program that I was entered into with a contractor. And they actually helped train me, like trying to get those technical skills back, the hand to eye. And then, of course, I think my creative spirit was reborn again because it had been pushed away a lot, I think, with all the tech. And so we moved to Portland 14 years ago, and I worked on a house for 2 years. We completely restored it and refurbed it, and that house got published 7 times regionally. And we kind of got turned in by our realtor. He's like, people have to see this. And that's kind of where it started. And, it goes back to my corporate training where I can have creative ideas, I can coach, I can inspire people, but you need technical skills, and that's the employees that we have found to hire. They really have the technical skill, the backgrounds that I don't have, and I'm not going to learn, and I'm able to apply that to really great experiences for our clients. That's the short version.
No, that's amazing. I mean, you have a big firm now, so you've been doing this 8 years, and your firm is 23-ish, or what is it? 20 more, probably like 40 now.
There were a lot of pictures on your team page
on the website.
I didn't count them.
How big is your team now?
We're 30, going on more. I know.
Wow.
What have I done? We moved out of my attic 6 years ago.
Wow.
I know, it's nuts. So...
He's such a down player. I love it.
Well, life is a lot more exciting than my firm. That's what I always say.
Not to interior designers.
I know.
So I've got a question for you. One of the things that we hear all the time, and you kind of just mentioned it, you found the people who had the skills that you didn't have.
Yeah.
So when you first started your firm, were you big into DIY as far as marketing and branding and all of that, or did you hire people on who could help you with all of that?
I definitely, it was another era, right? I mean, isn't it crazy that 10 years ago was a different era than it is today? And so I was, I first started out doing it all myself the first 2 years because I didn't even know what I was doing. And I kind of launched in, I was using Flickr. I don't know if you remember Flickr.
Yes, totally remember.
So that was kind of my place, and I was learning how to, I think we were tagging in. I don't know what it was called. I can't remember. Keywords. It was keywords back then.
Yes.
And so I started with them, and then someone told me in San Francisco, if you were an architect or, well, where's my fan? Look at that.
I want to be Carmen Miranda, so.
I'm there to carry you, honey. So then I found Houzz, H-O-U-Z-Z, right? So I found Houzz, and I'm like, oh, this is a better way to organize my photos, and I didn't know really what else it was for. And so that's probably, I kind of started, I was ground roots in doing that. I did in year 3 through 5, I did have a full-time employee who dealt just with like social media, the blogs, and helped me with that. And then the last 4 years, I've done it by myself, and we've pared way back. So now I've tried to create some efficiencies on how to use social media and without being on it hours and hours a day. And I've never hired a PR firm or anything like that. Maybe I should, but
you do an amazing job. You did your website too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've done it. You're an amazing talent on so many levels.
Well, I don't know. We try our best. And I think too, the one thing I do is what has really, I think, freed me and allowed me to do these creative initiatives is I don't do my payroll. I've
Yeah.
never done payroll. I'm scared to death of it. I don't understand it. And, and so along the way, it also keeps me in check. I
Mhm.
don't have any debt. We've never taken out a loan.
Wow.
And so by having a CPA, having a bookkeeper, having the payroll people,
Mhm.
I've always really thought about those people as consultants and kind of
Yeah.
keeping me in check.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And then it
remember.
allows you to do those fun things.
Yeah. Well, I
Things you
remember
like and
on
you
the
do.
yeah, on the car ride, I was like, Garrison, help me. I've started this business. I've worked myself into a job. And he was just like so systematic. He's like, well, get your bookkeeper and then work a little bit. And then you're going to get this. And you were just like so calm. And he's like, you just add this in and then you add a part-time person in. And then you go a little bit and then you add this next person. And it was just like, it was so funny. I was totally having a moment talking to him like, how did you grow this team? Oh my gosh. So you're amazing at that. And you've had one of your team members that you had with you, Allison, with you.
Allison.
Oh my gosh,
I
love
can't
her.
stand her, right? She's no fun. We don't get along at all.
At all.
And her style, right. No, but right, and I think that's the part of it is like there's a few people that have been with us, 4 years or longer, and I mean seriously, just a few, and those people that not only are they curating our look and helping us determine like, hey, what are the next steps, but they're also creating this culture, and those are really good identifiers, I think, for any individual that comes onto the team, is that the culture is now created by those individuals who've been here, and if you become a new team member, guess what? You now have to help with the culture. And so I just tried to lay that out for everyone so that we do have the best experience. And I've told Rachel about all this, like, I'm very regimented. I'm crazy about it. But it's the only way that it works with this head is, Monday and Tuesday are our team days only. There is no outside meetings. Like, I don't meet with any other vendor or client. I need to go through and meet my team and see all the project statuses. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, those are the only days that we meet with clients. And having those type of formulas, I think, have really kind of helped us. And then, I think there's 2 employees, from what I understand, that know the code to get into the building on the weekends. Like, we just,
I love that.
I know.
yeah, we just don't, you don't need to be here. And so we are kind of like, when you come to work, you work. And then you should leave. Like, get out of here. Like, why are you here?
Go have a life.
Yeah. So that's, to me, those are kind of, I think, the important parts. And with me creating that structure now turns into really great, motivated, creative talent. And then the delivery is easy, right? Now I can always tell my clients, hey, we are going to give you the best experience, whether it's me or it's Allison or it's Colin or Tiffany or whoever. I already know how consistent we are, and that's what makes a great experience. And I can actually go mulch my yard even though I don't want to, right?
Mulch you do about nothing.
I'll say.
Garrison and I were comparing mulch piles, but yours is probably gone, where my husband is like, he likes to keep his mulch pile.
Well, maybe there's some
abundant.
Right.
Feel abundant.
Okay. Well, whatever it takes. I'm a little too tidy for that. I can't stand it.
I know. Your work is impeccable. I was on your portfolio and I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, just the way, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. I saw there was one project on your portfolio that had these colored chairs. It looked like a multifamily space or something that, like probably a common space. And just the angle of like the one, like I could tell to the millimeter.
Yes, I still go to all the photo shoots.
I know you do. I can imagine. I can only imagine. I could see how impeccable the photos were. So
yeah, and we only work with the same team. I fly them wherever they'll go. And so I think that those are, our visual, our images, they're everything.
Yeah.
It's and when people say like, oh, it's does it really matter? I'm like, yeah, it's a feeling. And when someone says, oh, that feels so good, or that looks, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And if I can't present that every time, I don't present it.
Yeah.
And when you say you look at my portfolio, the first thing I think is like, oh gosh.
I do. I know.
Because we only photograph maybe one or two per year.
Right.
It's very difficult to get back into these
Yeah.
spaces and show completed spaces.
Mhm.
So I do try to have more fun with social media, like on Instagram.
Oh my gosh, totally.
We really try to show in the stories, like, hey, here's what's kind of going on. This is what we've been focusing on. You may never see a finished product. We may not get back there.
Right.
It's very expensive.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm also in control. Like, we don't really allow editorial directive to take over and do our shoots for us. I just don't.
Ooh,
I
that's
just
so
don't believe in it.
smart. I haven't heard that before.
Yeah, so we take all
That's
our
so
own
smart.
photos and we package them,
And
and
then
then
you
we'll
package
present them.
it.
Yep. Yeah, I've also found someone that she does our writing for us. So we'll curate the story, and then we can provide the whole package.
How
And
easy for an editor? I mean, if
right,
anybody listening that wants to be published, can you make it any easier for somebody? You have the
yeah,
story, the angle, the photos, everything
yeah.
packaged up and ready to go. That's amazing.
Well, and our voice is so important. I think that, if someone is from afar and they're looking at some of the imagery and they don't really have that time, or maybe they don't have, you think back like how we charge by the hour. The same thing's going on for anyone that's in editorial. They're paid by the words, right? So
Yeah.
they're not going to spend time interviewing us designers to find out about the background of the story.
Right.
But if I hire my own person and I spend a few $100 to hire a really creative writer, they're going to really listen to me and they're going to care about me. I'm now their client. And I think the payoff there is that now you actually get to tell the story, and the story's
Your way. You're in control of the story, right?
Made their life
control.
I know. I'm like,
You get
Do I have control?
Their life is easier. It sounds like a match made in heaven.
I know.
Just saying.
and Garrison's control issues are fed well.
Now, Dixie, are you a control freak? Who's the OCD one here?
Yeah, I've got the
Yeah.
structure.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
because I originally started out studying mechanical engineering. So, you talking about systems and structure and all of that. Yeah, that's
so
me.
you kind of like that then?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
here's what I'll tell you. If you really want to see, this is an OCD delight, is go in, and if you can find any of our pantries, I think I may hit a spot for you.
Ooh.
Yeah. So again, what we know as interior designers that, I'm not a professional organizer.
Right.
So what we did is we went to one of the local chapters and we partnered up with the local chapter of professional organizers. And now I have a team and we always refer them. And so then they come in, they kind of know my standards. Hey, here's the type of labeling we want. This is how we see the family living. And so I'm still involved because we have such trust with our clients.
Right.
But oh my God, I love our pantries that we do. They're just beautiful.
I'll be heading over to the website
click,
shortly. No, but I love that you are able to deliver a consistent product because you have that structure. You've got the underlying, this is how we do things. This is how the culture is. This is how we work together. I love all of that. So
It seems like it would be an amazing culture, just knowing you and Allison
and your sense of humor.
And it's, I know. You remind me of I used to be in private banking, and, private banking, you wouldn't think is the funnest job, right?
No.
But we had this boss that he would like take your keys off your keyboard. Like he would take the M and mix it with and some people, I don't need to look, but some people would be like, what is going on? And they spend like $500 on the phone with IT, but he didn't care because he was so he just wanted the environment to be like, we worked really hard because we worked with, multi-million-dollar clients, but he wanted it to still be fun, and so he was always doing pranks on us. And I just imagine that your environment is serious, like it's serious, right?
Yeah.
But and you put out an amazing product, but you probably have a lot of fun too.
Well, and we've talked about that, right? This is serious. I mean, there is no doubt about it. What we do is so very serious.
Yes.
Not only is it serious from a standpoint of code and safety, but also this is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Our clients are entrusting us to, really be this, fostering, how we care for their money and for their home or for their commercial projects. And so we talk about this all the time. And if it's serious, I gotta have fun. And so the best thing I can do is I'll just go plant myself out at someone's desk if they're off that day in the pit. And they're all like, oh my God, Garrison, like,
Distracting.
yes, I love it. Like I'll take a call out there. I've even taken a podcast out in the pit one time. And of course, it's so nice because some of the the team members I don't get to spend much time with, right? I usually spend a lot of time with the senior designers and some of their leads. So then some of the others are like, we're hooting and hollering, and their manager may not love it, but
ultimately.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh.
But and we go to happy hour once a quarter, and it's a big,
I saw that.
We love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we do the, we'll go for a couple hours, and then your plus one can come after the second hour. And so then like we start to get to meet all the plus ones, which is really fun. And then my husband's crazy cook. He's a Texan, and we throw a big soup party at our house, and it's where he makes 4 or 5 different soups, and everyone gets to bring their plus one.
Well, you have the fun neighborhood party too, because I remember
it's
showing
crazy.
me pictures when we were in High Point. You're like, look what's going down at my house right now.
I think. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I can't even say anything at this point, right?
Right.
I'll blame it on Jay. I'll blame it on my husband. But I think that's what life is about, and that we do work a lot, right? And I love to work. And I don't mind a power nap. There's nothing wrong with a 7:30 clock nap.
Oh, you are totally my hero now.
He is our yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I love that, right? Take a little power nap or disco nap, whatever you want to call it, and then you get up and then you like hit it hard.
Yeah.
Right. And it's okay. And and I'm really fortunate, right? Because at home, my spouse really understands that, and he values that, and he sees that, hey, this is how we work. He's on the different spectrum. He's up really, really early and starts working, and I'm cool with that because I get a little quiet time. But I think that's, we all have to kind of get in our groove and understand what works best for us.
Well, I met you I know you're a fun person because I met you through fun people. And I met you through the Coen brothers. They're up there in Portland with you, and Nick May too, who's another friend, who he was. If I wouldn't have met you through Nick May was the one that was like, he's a really big deal.
It's so funny because I'm not
like,
that guy.
And I was like, this old guy here that I just took an Uber ride with.
Is that it's so funny that they think that. I don't know what they're thinking. But the Coen brothers, oh my gosh, do I love them. You should see some of sometime I'll have to point out to you which projects they've worked on for us.
Yes, I would love to see that. We just did a visibility challenge in our Facebook group, and because we're all about, the first level of PR, right? We all have social media, and we all have platforms and followers and stuff. And so we really encourage our designers to, a lot of them won't share their projects, what they're working on, especially if they're in progress or even their, themselves. And the way the Coen brothers have come on and made a splash on the scene, I've never seen anything like that. Amazing. But one thing they did during the visibility challenge is they showed more about rock bottom, which they've been talking about elegant mosaics,
right,
which is awesome, but I hadn't seen, they would be a full resource for indoor, outdoor, decorative.
I totally just had a moment where I was like,
I have a project. I got to write something down. I need some pavers right now. Get me some travertine stat. He's taking notes for you.
I'm here to help, and please.
Yeah.
Well, the Coen brothers, there's something, I was a little taken back by this whole new venture, right, with the Elegant Mosaics. I think that for what all we had ever seen with them is this impeccable delivery of customer service and the follow through.
Wow.
It's almost a little awkward. Like, why are you at my office so much? Like, do you really need to bring those samples yourself? And you can't miss these tall guys, right? You're like,
no.
They're again, I'm so grateful that people are so kind. I mean, I'm a little taken back still, right? That they are so kind, and like you said, the big splash that they've made, and bringing on really cool people. Mhm.
Hmm.
But like even to bring me into the fold and introduce me to people, like, it was really, I am
Which is
very
crazy, right? They're introducing you to
well. I see why they introduce you, right? But I'm just a business owner in Portland, Oregon, and so I'm very grateful for it.
Oh
And
my gosh.
um,
You're
and
one
I,
of the cool kids, by the way. I need you to know
oh,
that before you get
really?
off this. You're one of the cool, you're like the leader of the cool kids.
Let me put it this way. Rachel has talked about you nonstop
Yeah.
market.
Especially when he called me at like midnight when he was at the Chandelier Bar in Las Vegas.
Oops. Well, but that was a combination. HD was a little bit of
Oh
a
my.
mess for me because the guys, they ganged up on me. So Dave Cohen was on one side of the big long sofa.
Yeah.
Nick May was on the other side, and they
Yeah.
are very naughty. Like they were like, Garrison's going to go beyond his one drink limit tonight. And
And see what happens?
I missed you, Rachel. Like you did me in that moment.
It was hysterical. That was like one of the funniest things. I'm in bed with my husband. We're having our regular, go to bed at 10 o'clock kind of thing. And my phone is lighting up. And I have pictures. I try to keep pictures with the name. So when like Dave Cohen's picture keeps popping up on my phone, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my husband's gonna, and then Nick May and then Garrison through Instagram, they're hitting me on all platforms. It was hilarious. I was like, I want to be there so badly right now.
I know. Well, we missed you, and squad goals. Maybe I'm getting closer to them, right?
Yes, we hit our squad goals for sure.
Yeah. Well, I just, I'm very fortunate. I really try not to take anything for granted. And I get it. I tell clients this and I tell staff, I'm a little crazy. Like, I've been through such a life-changing event
Yeah.
and I was able to recreate myself. I mean, believe it or not, I lost my personality for many years.
Wow.
And so, for Jay and my family, everyone was really scared. Like, what's going to come back like? And I am back. Okay. And,
And I'm back.
uh, and it's scary for people because I am a little nuts, and uh, things are under control. And I think that we all have to take that moment and make sure that we compartmentalize what really should be in control.
Yeah.
And if we box that in, and you know what, then we can have fun. And
Yeah.
my life has to be fun, and I have to be
Oh
around
my
fun
gosh.
people.
Yeah.
And I
Can't
think
do
then,
it if it's not.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it motivates us.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my whole mantra. But I get it. I really do. I even talk to clients about this a lot. Like you may not like me because I act like this in my client meetings. I know my staff is like, oh my God, Garrison.
They're like, don't worry, you'll be working with me.
Yes, yeah, I know. Because we do a countdown. We're like, first meeting, second meeting, third meeting. Okay, Garrison's
Okay,
out.
no more.
Yeah. The old guy's out. Right. Because they're, like, oh, and then, I'm like, don't worry, the person who runs all the time, the person who's like so organic and healthy, don't worry, you'll get to meet them soon. I'll be out of here. But
I'll be out of here. I love it. Well, Dixie and I, you saw that Dixie had some life-threatening
yeah.
allergies
Oh,
while we were at High Point Market.
yes.
And Dave and I have both had sudden cardiac arrest. So, we definitely get it. And that's why I think those things are important. And we've brought them also into our businesses as service and raising awareness. And so anytime we can raise awareness to these issues, we try to use our platform to do that as well.
That's
And,
great.
I think it connects us also on another level, because any of us know, that things cannot be, things cannot always go well. When you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, appreciate things when they're going well. Because
Yes.
things, they're not always bad, but they're not always good too. So I think it gives us a new lease on life, and maybe we don't take it as seriously. We've knocked on the door of death, really.
Yeah.
So I think it's important for people to almost not take themselves so seriously all the time.
Yeah.
You can still get stuff done and do good work, but lighten up, people.
And for me, it's been why should I be scared of going out and having an adventure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go whitewater rafting. Let's go zip lining. Let's go do all kinds of stuff like that. I can't go into certain restaurants or near them, but I can still go out and have, and I'm so excited because this year it's 4 stories higher.
So what is it? How many stories is it going to be this year?
16 stories. I'm rappelling down a 16-story building to raise money for one of my favorite service organizations,
which is Restoration House.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at Garrison's face.
I get can't you just write a check? I don't.
Oh, it's so much fun.
She loves it. This is going to be her 3rd year.
Oh, there's a harness involved. I got it.
Yes. There's a lot of. They make sure that you're not falling anywhere. So.
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking about the fit and the color of the harness. I'm not worried about your safety.
And last year I went down to Rosie the Riveter.
We got to
come up with a costume for this year.
Yeah, we got to vote on her costume. She was going to go down as Amelia Earhart.
Oh my gosh,
or Rosie the Riveter. So in our community, we all voted, and she went down as Rosie the Riveter, and she stopped like midway. She had her little bandana.
I love it.
And I won the costume contest because the families vote. The families at the Restoration House vote. So
Tinkerbell and lots of flowing twine.
I'm kind of thinking.
Oh, that's
if they don't have a problem with it, getting into the harness, then yeah, I could totally do that.
I love it.
That would look so pretty
I know, with
down.
The blue hair.
Yes,
right?
I love your hair. Yeah.
I know, right? Well, Garrison, thank you so much for coming on. You are such a blessing to the community, and people are going to love hearing, I almost forgot.
I was going to say, do I need to remind you?
Yes, you need to remind you. Go ahead and close the
Garrison.
session.
Yes.
Why does visibility matter?
To your business, your publications that you've done and all of that. Even in person, you can pick either one.
Or both.
I wasn't ready for this, I don't think. Well, I think that visibility is important for us because it's our brand mark reappearing, right? And so by providing that consistency and whatever it is, and I was told, kind of going back to I do have some issues with work, right? Like I'm very particular, and things must be in a certain manner, and once they're carried out, then we can have fun. And a graphic designer that was a neighbor told me 6 years ago, she's like, Garrison, you've got it all buttoned up, you're intact, like things are great. Your personality is missing from who you are in social media and on your website. Yeah. She's like, there's a disconnect here, and it's not fair to all of those who are going through and comparing you to others. You should expose yourself. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so that was kind of that moment where I'm like, you know what? I need to make sure that whatever is visible is that it's authentic, and that I got to be careful and not hide who I am and the craziness, right? So I put out Boomerang on there once in a while, and I know my team and my family are like, oh my gosh, why is that guy that starts with the age 5 out there doing that? But and so that visibility and that brand awareness is really important. And I think that it's always reappearing where we can, in different and unique ways, but yet still consistent. And so that's kind of where I kind of head with things for our firm.
That is just the perfect place to end it. We are excited. We are going to be traveling together soon. So
that's ready.
What?
I know. We are going to Virginia together next month. So that shouldn't be any fun at all. So
no,
that'll be a horrible time.
Should we wear matching Daisy Dukes?
We should do.
Yeah.
We should. Yeah. It's going to be it's not going to be pretty, but we can do it. I don't know if it's the kind of visibility we want, but
it's okay.
Thank you, Garrison. Thank you again. So we know you're a very busy businessman, so we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us on the podcast. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Keep doing a great job.
Bye.
Bye. Sometimes when it comes to visibility, it's hard to know where to start, how to start, what's truly important. Maybe you've already started, but instead of getting anywhere, you just feel lost and confused. Maybe you see others making great strides, but it seems like you're getting left behind. Or maybe your once successful visibility efforts just aren't getting you the attention they used to thanks to new technology and an ever-changing industry. It's time for a change. It's time to take control, to stand up for yourself and your business. It's time to become a visibility warrior. Join us today at visibilitywarrior.com.